Hello, beautiful people. Sorry for the weird light. It is summer and the light is strange here. I am today doing a VR to Katey Flowers, I don't know when she did it, video that everyone on TarotTube seems to be doing, which is the top 10 decks you can't live without. Now this was challenging because I have more than 10 decks. I have quite a few more than 10 decks. And to me, it's like, well, what do I pick? What really calls to me? What do I go to above other things? Just no matter how much I love them or which ones are which, or so this was challenging. And I've put a bit of thought into it. Haven't overthought it, hopefully. To my left, just off camera in that bed, is my new puppy Mabel. Oh, she just wagged her tail, so you might have seen that. She is joining me here in my studio so that I can keep an eye on her because she's very, very cheeky. So, in no particular order, in a mix of tarot and oracle. So I might do oracle first because there's less oracle decks. So, if you've been to my channel before, you may be aware that I have a few oracle decks, so picking just a few from that selection that I truly love was very hard, and even now I'm still not confident that I've made the right choice. But in no particular numbered order, here is a deck that I definitely cannot go without, the Faeries Oracle by Brian Froud and Jessica Macbeth. This deck is stunning. I have done a bit of a walkthrough and a discussion about this deck, and see if I can get it out. And the book is massive and hardback and gorgeous, and I love it, and I do want to study with it more. And then the cards are a good kind of size, and they are just gorgeous. All that very magic Brian Froud style. If you're familiar with movies like Labyrinth, Dark Crystal, that is his work. I love this deck. It took me a long time to finally get my hands on it, but I'm so glad I did, and one day I will get that other deck of his that's out of print. It's a bit harder to find and a bit pricey, so I would like to find it for a not insane price. And of course I had to pick an animal deck. This is possibly my favorite, or I don't know. It's one of my favorites. Scott Alexander King's Animal Dreaming Oracle. Now, I'm not sure if this is entirely Australian animals. Yes, it is. It is entirely Australian animals, which is kind of why I picked it, because, I'm Australian. If you couldn't tell by the accent. No, I am not British or a New Zealander, but I have been to both of those places. So this is a Blue Angel deck. I've got a number of Blue Angel decks. I think they do great work. The guidebook's great. The animals are kind of split into elements, and then the cards are gorgeous. The backing is stunning. And the art is divine. I'm not sure if Scott himself does the art or if he has an artist. Let me have a look if it says in here. No, does not. So I just assume it's his artwork, but it's just stunning. Scott Alexander King's got a few decks. I have most of them. About the artist, no, it is a separate artist. Karen Branchflower, who is an Australian artist who is from Victoria. But yeah, I love this deck. He's got the World Animal Dreaming deck as well, and then the Creature Teacher deck, and a fabulous book which is Earth Mother Dreaming, I think it's called, which I highly recommend. So yeah, Scott Alexander King, and my definite favorite Oracle deck of all time is the Foxfire Kitsune Oracle by the delightful Lucy Cavendish. I have a lot of her decks, so this was hard to pick a favorite, but Foxfire is definitely number one. It's another Blue Angel deck. This deck actually got run over by my car because a neighbor kindly put it in my garage when it was delivered, except I didn't see the parcel and I ran over it. So yeah, it's a bit special. The artwork is gorgeous. That's the back of the deck and the front of the cards. They're just gorgeous. So the artwork is by Meredith Dillman. But yeah, I love this deck so much. It's been on my altar for, gosh, months now. When did I put that altar up? Ages, because I've got a whole thing about foxes and Kitsune and yeah. And now, so that was my 3 Oracle decks, which means I've got 7 tarot decks. One I absolutely could not pass up is the amazing Next World Tarot, written and illustrated by Christy C. Rode. There is also a pocket edition, which I would love to get, but I believe it's out of print. I discovered in someone else's VR. So at some point when it's back in print, I'll be picking that up. Because I just love this deck, but it is so big, my goodness. The deck is huge. The book is amazing. The deck is amazing. I did a 6-week tarot course using this deck as my sole focus deck, and it's so good. It's just so good. I highly recommend it. It is the most diverse deck in my collection. For example, the Judgment card depicts, that way, people of colour, says ACAB and Black Lives Matter. So it's pretty out there in terms of representation. It also says I can't breathe. So if you are at all political like I am, definitely get this one. It's got great disability representation as well. I just love it. And there's many elephants on the Chariot card. It's great. Elephants being another favourite of mine. I don't have an elephant deck. I need an elephant deck. I wonder if there's a specific elephant deck or if it's just Ganesh decks. And not being Hindu, I don't know how I feel about that. And like I said, this is in no particular order, but this is a deck. I think it was one of the first tarot apps I bought, the Shadowscapes Tarot. I just have a very small Llewellyn edition, so it doesn't have a very complete book. But something about Stephanie Pumin Law's artwork, oh my goodness. She has done 2 books, Tail Chaser Song and The Dragonbone Chair, which are by my favourite author, Tad Williams, and they've done like limited edition books, and oh my gosh, the illustrations look amazing. I need to get my hands on them, but they're in America and very expensive. But the Shadowscapes, I'm sure if you've been around the tarot block, you've seen this before. One of my favourite things about this is all the foxes and the fairness and the magicness, and just the artwork is stunning. I would love it if these cards were bigger. I know I've just said Next World Tarot needs to be smaller, but I would actually love these cards to be bigger so I could see more artwork. There is an art book available for this deck, which I would love to get. When I bought this, I was still fairly new to my tarot journey, so I didn't understand about the edition I bought, and had I realised, I would have bought the one with the bigger book. But yeah, this has been a study deck for me for a long time, and I just love it. It's just stunning. Now, one that is fairly new to my collection, 2020, my goodness, not all that new, but is the Oak, Ash and Thorn Tarot by 3 Trees Tarot, which is made up of Stephanie Burrows and Adam Oland, perhaps. Does it say it anywhere on the box? I'm not sure. Doesn't look like it does, but I'm pretty sure those are their names. If you are not familiar with this deck, Where have you been? I have backed, or pre-ordered, I suppose. They didn't do a Kickstarter for this. Their Smoke, Ash and Embers, which is their next deck, which is dragon themed, and this one's all like Northern European woodland creatures. I suppose probably just purely British woodland creatures, and it's gorgeous. Lots of foxes, and this book doesn't have a guidebook that comes with the deck, but what it does have are these little reference charts. And I'm holding, no, that one upside down. Oh, there's a Mabel appearance. There's little reference charts. So they've got keywords for each card. So for example, the Devil, discontent, helplessness tied to a situation. Cool. So sometimes really that's all you need, just to kind of jog your memory. I backed this on Kickstarter and got all the trimmings, and I'm absolutely glad I did, because this deck has been a favourite. I did it for my daily draw for ages, back when I was still doing those. I haven't done one for a while. Been a bit out of the loop of much taroting. Puppies are exhausting. Absolutely worth it though, she's wonderful. And then one I couldn't pass up, the very lovely Star Spinner Tarot by Trungles. I can't remember if I did do a review of this one. I feel like I did. I don't know. I just don't have any more. One thing I really wish existed was a guide to what fairy tales and folklore these cards are about, because some of them to me are obvious, like the Little Mermaid, traditional Hans Christian Andersen, but then others are less obvious. The palette, the color palette is gorgeous, and there's all these different lovers cards in this deck, and just the colors are gorgeous. I love this deck. It's very Art Nouveau, I think is what I'm calling it. It's very Art Nouveau, and just it's gorgeous, and I love it. And it's a beautiful deck. And then where are we? A deck I could not pass up. It's upside down. Good work. Is the Moonchild Tarot by Danielle Noel. I also have the Star Child, the Akashic version. I'd like to get the other versions as well. And I'm really looking forward to her upcoming sea-themed oracle deck. I do not recall what it is called. So this one was published in 2018, which is when I got it. I actually got this deck when I was in hospital. I ordered it online from Two Sides Tarot, who is a Sydney-based tarot shop, and the guidebook is full color. It is gorgeous. I love it. I have a few decks Danielle has illustrated that are not her own decks. The two, what is her name? The Australian woman, Rebecca Campbell. The two Rebecca Campbell, Work Your Light and Starseed. I have those two. Haven't used those anywhere near as much. I don't think I've actually used Starseed, but Moonchild is an absolute favourite of mine. I've done so many readings with this deck, not just for myself, but for others as well. When I was doing a whole bunch of readings, I don't even remember the last time I read for anyone else. But the cards are stunning. They're definitely not a traditional kind of Rider-Waite-Smith interpretation. And there's a few bonus cards, like Divine Wisdom. And just, this deck, Two of Swords. I love this deck so much. And now I've got it out, I'm like, oh, I want to play with it. Hopefully Mabel is not too distracting. Oh, sweetie, don't eat your bed. Hopefully Mabel is not too distracting. She's certainly distracting me. And then, okay, maybe I am kind of doing this in order. Not really. One, if you've been here before, you know I love this deck. The Last Unicorn Tarot. One of my dearly beloveds bought me this. He bought me the whole thing with the bonus card and the reading cloth and the box and the signed Peter S. Beagle card. The Last Unicorn is one of my favourite movies and one of my favourite books. And when I legally changed my name to Amalthea, that was because that's the name the unicorn is given when she is trapped in a human form, and that's how I feel like I'm trapped in his body. And it felt perfect. So that's where the name of this channel comes from, is from The Last Unicorn, and my legal name is Amalthea now. And the deck is just gorgeous. The book is gorgeous. It's this gorgeous little hardbound book. I've done a lot of readings with this book, with this deck. And oh look, King Haggard, and Queen of Swords with Mummy Fortuna, voiced by the amazing Angela Lansbury. Look at that, 5 of Coins, Lady Amalthea herself. I've got a Geekify, so Geekify is the company who produced this deck. I've got a Kickstarter that I'm desperately waiting on from them, which is plushies and pins from The Last Unicorn, and that has been in production for so long because COVID delays, and you know what it's like these days, everything takes forever. And then last but not least, if you've been here before, I've said that a few times, but I expect a lot of people watching this will be new viewers because this tarot tag is all over the place. But my very first ever deck may be my favorite, which is a hard call because I have 2 shelves that are over full of tarot and oracle decks. But my absolute beloved Lumina Tarot by Inner Hue, which may be out of print, I'm not sure. A couple of years ago, this deck had an accident involving a cup of tea. Interesting, I also just had an accident involving a cup of tea. Thankfully, it was not still hot and I did not burn myself. But yeah, this deck has gotten a little tea stained. But yeah, a lot of people compare this to the Wild Unknown because it's got that same kind of line art and splashes of color. But this deck was my first tarot deck. It was the first deck I ever studied with. I just love it so much. I also have Inner Hue's Oracle deck, the Connected and Free, I believe it is. Just I don't use that anywhere near as much. It is a gorgeous deck, but yeah, cannot go past Lumina Tarot. Yes, it would be nice if there was more representation and diversity and stuff in this deck, but it isn't. And I just, yeah, I love this deck, even if it is a bit warped from tea, as you can see. Accidental edging. And yeah, the edition I have no idea which edition this is, but it's the edition where the book is separate. I just picked it up before and showed you. Sorry, I don't have much of a brain going on in here these days. It's all puppy all the time. She's been with me for 6 weeks now. 6 weeks? 7 weeks? Can you remember? I can't. It feels like a lifetime, but it also feels like she's only been here for 5 minutes. But yeah, I love this book. I love this deck. The illustrator is Tegan Swinney. I'm not sure how to say that. And then the creator of the writer of the deck is Lauren Aletta, and they are both Brisbane based. So out of that, 3 decks are Australian, and then I'm not sure where the rest of these people are from. I know a lot of them are American, but Oak and Ash and Thorn is definitely British. But yeah, that's my collection of decks. I think this video has gone on long enough, and hopefully little Miss Mabel wasn't too distracting. Please stop eating the chair. Do not eat the chair. That is Daddy's chair. Do not eat Daddy's chair, sweetie. She chews everything. I mean, she's a puppy, so of course she's chewing everything. Yeah, so I am planning on doing 31 Days of Tarot 2022, starting in 2 days, however long it is, because it's the 30th of December today. My goodness, where has this year gone? So I am planning on doing that. I'm not going to be recording a video every day simply because it will be impossible, particularly with Little Miss, and we have another dog as well, so the dogs need my love and attention. and I live with chronic pain and chronic illness, so sometimes I just can't move, like yesterday. But I am planning on making as many videos as I can. Some of the prompts I don't think really apply to me, so I won't be doing those. Like, I didn't do daily draws for most of 2021. In fact, I might not have done them at all for 2021. I cannot recall. But yeah, so I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do video wise. It's certainly going to be easier when my partner is around so that he can supervise the dogs and I don't have to worry about them. Little Miss Mabel chewed through my mouse cord the other week when she was left unsupervised, so she has to be supervised in this room. If she chews through anything else, I will just cry. That's the thing about puppy. Oh, are you okay? You okay, little miss? They're unpredictable and dangerous. Also like to clean up a bit of this as well, so you can probably see my tree of life again. That thing, the coloured thing. So you can see all that again. Oh, and I just wanted to show this off. You can see this gorgeous little elephant that my lovely friend Mare crocheted for me as a Christmas present. And the bracelet I am wearing was also from them. It's one of those track an elephant bracelets. Also, they sent me coconut and mint fudge. I think that's what it is. Coconut and mint? Please correct me if I'm wrong, which is in the fridge because it's been very hot here, so I'm just giving it a chance to re-solidify. It's a bit squishy, so yeah, it's just, oh my gosh, this is one of the cutest elephants I've ever seen. I just love it. So this is taking pride of place on my desk with my many other beloved little cherished gifts that I have from dear ones. Ooh, including Otter, my little ferret, ferret who'd fallen over. But yes, I think that was everything. That's everything. That'll do, that's for sure. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you if you've been here for the first time, and you know, share, like, subscribe, all those YouTubey things. And please tell me if you've done one of these videos that I haven't seen, because I am loving watching these. My wallet is not, because I'm like, ooh, I want to get that deck. Ooh, I want to get that deck. Ooh, I want to get that deck. It's dangerous because I have a deck addiction. I'm not even telling you how many I own because it's just embarrassing. But yes, I am a collector as well as a reader. So yes, thank you so much for watching. Many blessings, happy seasons and all that kind of thing. And until next time, bye.